Hello and welcome everyone. It is Saturday, August 25th, 2018, and it is time for Jim Comics top picks for upcoming new comic book day this Wednesday, August 29th, 2018. And again, another good week with some good stuff coming out. I'm not going to say it's a lighter week because I don't think any week ever becomes a light week. I've said that a couple times, and I come home with more than I do when I say it's not a lighter week. So I'm not going to say that anymore. But thanks so much to everybody that subscribed to my channel and sends me comments. I really appreciate it. I love being part of this community, and I hope some of the stuff I put on here helps you out. And I'm going to do another shout out for Comic Shop. This week it's Big B Comics in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My country, but on the other side of the country. I have ordered stuff from them online. They have a lot of really good books. They've got 3 stores actually, and between the 3 stores they get a lot of stuff. And I haven't talked to the owner personally, but I have talked to the staff before, and they're pretty helpful. And like I say, they have some really key books if you're interested in getting stuff. So there's a few images. There's an image of the store, and then also some of the books and the shelves and stuff I put on there. So yeah. Anyways, the address is below and phone numbers below. If you're in the area and you want to give them a call, give them a shout. It's from what I've dealt with them a few times. They're pretty good. So anyways, we'll get into this week's books. From Aftershock, Beyonders #1. 2 covers for that, cover A and a nice cover B. And this one looks pretty interesting. It's I've recommended a lot of the Aftershock titles. They're really good. A lot of good writers and artists coming out on some of these independents. It kind of sounds like a young boy. He's got a bunch of conspiracy theories, and they start coming true. So it sounds like it's got kind of like an X-Files feel to it, but it looks really good. I'm definitely recommending that one. I'm going to get that one. Walk Through Hell #4. That one is out this week. It looks like there's only 1 cover for that. So I'm going to definitely pick that one up. And it looks like that one's been optioned for a movie. That rumor started a few days ago, but I couldn't confirm it, so I didn't want to come out and let you guys know. But it looks like it has. So that's again another independent title getting picked up, which it seems like a weekly occurrence nowadays. That's it from Aftershock. From Boom Studios, Bone Parish #2. Got 2 covers for that. Again, cover A and cover B. I like cover A better than cover B on that one. I'm not a big fan of the cover B, but I'll probably pick up both if I can. That's it from Boom. From IDW, you got Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons #1. This one looks pretty good, and there's 4 covers for that. There's cover A and B are your regular priced covers. Then you got cover C is a 1 for 10 limited cover, and then cover D is a 1 for 25 from what I can tell. So that one looks pretty good. Another one from IDW is House Amok. This looks really good. This looks like a good title. I highly recommend this one. This is there's 3 covers for this one. There's cover A and cover B are both, again, regular price covers, and then cover C looks to be a 1 for 10. So if you can get that one, that'd be a good one to get. It's kind of a black and white with some color in the background there. It looks pretty good. That's it for independents for me this week. There's not a ton that I'm looking at from independents this week. DC, Batgirl 26. Now there's 2 covers for this. Cover A is a Sean Gordon Murphy cover, and he's, if you don't know, I'm sure most of you do, he's the artist and the writer behind Batman White Knight. And he kind of redesigned a lot of the characters, and which on the cover is his version of Batgirl. And I like his artwork. He's a really good artist, and just because he's doing the art, I'm picking up cover A for sure. And then Josh Middleton's doing the cover B, and I'll be honest, I don't like that cover at all. I'm probably not going to get that one, but if you're a Josh Middleton fan and you're collecting them all, that's one you might want to get. Joker Daffy Duck Special #1. There's a bunch of these specials out this week. I'm only looking at 2 of them. So there's like I say, the Joker Daffy Duck Special, cover A and B. That one I'm definitely getting. And then there's also a Lex Luthor and Porky Pig #1, A and B. These are all one-shots, so those 2 I'm definitely getting. Scarlet #1 is out this week. Looks like an interesting title. I'll take a read of that. There's 3 covers for that. Cover A and cover B are both regular price. I think C is a limited variant. I'm not 100% sure of that one. But I'm going to definitely pick one of those up anyways. And Nightwing Annual #1. This one looks pretty interesting. A lot of times annuals, you know, they're in the past anyways, there were a lot of reprints and nothing really special. It was just a money grab most of the time. But this one, nowadays, they're actually putting thought in them and some stories. So this one, Nightwing faces off against the first of 3 lieutenants in the army of the Dark Web, and his name is Vire. So it's, I think there may be a new character coming in this Nightwing Annual, so I'm definitely grabbing that one. That's it from DC. From Marvel, Daredevil Annual #1. Misty shows up in there, and I've gotten back into Daredevil recently. I picked up the last few issues, and I used to read them a lot, and haven't for years, so I'm going to pick this up and try to get back into Daredevil because I like the character. If it's done right, he's a good character. So Extermination #2. I like the first issue, so I'm going to grab the second one. I'll probably just grab cover A, but there are 3 covers for this. There's cover A, B, and C for this one. One I really recommend you get is Fantastic Four #1, the facsimile edition. And the reason for this, I know there's been all these True Believers and you know, reprints of stuff, but this is a true reprint of the original Fantastic Four #1. The only difference is the cover has the current price on it, and it has even the original ads and everything inside. There will be some extras inside to, you know, differentiate between the original and this one, but this one looks really good. If you can't afford the original one, which, you know, I can't. Well, I mean, I could, I guess, but I'm not going to go drop what people are asking in the condition I want. So I'm definitely going to grab one of these because that looks really good. Venom First Host is out this week, #1. 4 covers. Cover A, cover B are both regular priced. I believe C and D are limited variants, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Now there's a new character called Telkar that's showing up in this. There's a very good chance he's going to show up in this first issue. May just be an appearance, I don't know, but he's definitely coming in this series, so I highly recommend it. Next one is Web of Venom, Venom #1, 2 covers, A and B for that. So the interesting thing with this one is Cates is definitely going to tie, he's a writer on it, so he's definitely going to tie this into Venom. And you know, if you've been reading Venom, you've seen the link between the Vietnam Rex Strickland and all that. And issue 5, you saw that Venom merged with Rex Strickland, who turned out to be a symbiote from the Vietnam era, and they've now combined into one symbiote. So there's obviously going to be some ties and some stuff from this special that are going to work into Venom. So I highly recommend you get it. That's a definite one. You get, if you're a Venom fan, definitely pick that up, especially with everything Cates is doing nowadays. X-23 #3. This looks interesting. I love the cover on that, and you know, I know the Cuckoos are in this, but it just, the way it's worded, it sounds like something's going to happen in this one, so I'm picking up a copy just because I'm not a huge X-23 fan, but I love the cover on that one, so I'm going to grab it. And there's also a bunch of Venom reprints out this week. There's #1 4th print, which is kind of a black and white. You got #2, issue #2 3rd printing is out. And then you've got issue #4 2nd print is out. So a lot of shops don't bring these in, which surprised me, but I would highly recommend you pick those up if you can. So that is it for my picks this week. My top covers, I've only got 2 covers that really kind of struck me this week. I've got Beyonders #1, cover B. That looks really nice, and I like that Beyonders series. That looks really good. And the X-23 cover, which I just mentioned, #3, the cover A. There are 2 covers for X-23, but I like the cover A. I'm not picking up cover B at all. So that is it for my covers. I only got 2. My top picks, I got a few picks though. Web of Venom, Venom #1. That looks really good, and like I say, that'll definitely be tied into Venom, and not all of Venom's new powers have been revealed yet, so there may be something revealed in this one too, and it wouldn't surprise me the way Cates is doing stuff. That Fantastic Four #1 facsimile edition, I highly recommend you pick one of those up if you can find them. That one is going to be a good one. Venom First Host #1, just because you got a first appearance of Telkar potentially in this, I highly recommend that. DC Nightwing Annual #1, looks like potentially a new character called Vire part of the Dark Web Army. IDW House Amok #1, that looks really good, and it's lower print run. All these independents are pretty low print runs, and that one will be too. And from Aftershock Beyonders #1, that looks good. It's kind of got, like, say, a conspiracy theory X-Files kind of look to it, so that looks pretty interesting. So I got 3 spec books for you this week. Again, trying to keep the price kind of a little lower. First one is Lobo #1. That's from his independent series in the 90s, early 90s. That's his first solo series. So if you can't afford his first appearance, which isn't too much, it's that's under $100. But this one's like $15 range. It's really cheap. So that's a good one to get. Another really good one to get if you can find it is Bloodshot #6, and that came out in, when the heck was that? 93. And with the Bloodshot movie coming out, it's a really good one to get because that's the first appearance of Colin King, who later becomes Ninjak. And with like I say, with the Bloodshot movie coming, who knows what's going to pop up in there. So that is a really good one. And the last one I can give you, this one only came out a year ago. It's Mighty Thor #700. And just because of the 2 books in the background is why I'm recommending this. There's 4 pages in here. This was one that kind of, it's out there as far as the information, what's in here, but if you haven't read it, you may not be aware of what's going on. So as you know, in issue Venom 4, Noel, it's all the origin how he created the all-black Necrosword, and Thor God of Thunder #6, as you all know, is actually the first appearance of Noel with the all-black and everything. And then in issue #700, Thor is telling a story to a bunch of kids, and he says, have I ever told you the story, you children, how I defeated Galactus with just 1 arm? And so the King Thor tells the story of how he saved the Earth from the Eater of Worlds using the weapon of one of his greatest enemies, the weapon of Gore the God Butcher. But what the King Thor does not know is that the story of All Black the Necrosword did not end. That it continues on elsewhere at the end of time in the deepest reaches of space in the form of Black Galactus, the Butcher of Worlds. So what happens is Galactus gets a hold of the Necrosword and becomes Black Galactus, and that's obviously, this came out a year ago, well before Venom did. So it's kind of a link between Thor, God of Thunder #6, and your Venom series, and so it's a good one to get with all the, the stuff going on. So what happens is only 4 pages, and Galactus then ends up getting in a fight with Ego the Living Planet, shoves a sword through Ego the Living Planet's face, stabs him, but then Ego bites his arm off and turns into Ego the Necroworld, and then he sails off into the universe. So that is definitely a good one to get. You can pick that up, easily for cover price or even less. It's one I would highly recommend you get, just because of all the stuff going on with Venom and the Necrosword and Null and all that stuff going on. And this definitely ties it in. This came out well before Venom was even launched, so definitely a good one to get. Anyways, that's it, folks. Lighter week this week. I will talk to you later in the week. Happy hunting on Wednesday. Bye for now.